Hello and welcome to Leadership Insight. Today, it is all about level up your leadership, the art of active listening. I speak about active listening all the time, and I have finally gotten around to doing a Leadership Insight specifically all about active listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get our new things that are dropping. You will be in the know. And I would just love to know that you're out there as well. Again, welcome everyone. I am so thrilled about today's session. Several reasons. One, because I am a coach and I have learned to sit in active listening. It is a skill set that you can grow. And also note when we go through this, some of you are going to be like, you know what? Dang, with that active listening, it's too much work. Some of you are going to say that. Then others are going to say, So I'm going to try to get everybody on the side of let's give this active listening a try. Again, this is a skill set that you can grow. So rest assured that you just need to start wherever you are. Do it day by day. Do it with family. You hear me say this all the time. Do this with family, do this with friends. So that way you don't feel like you just have to jump out at your job testing it out. Now, you can test it out at the job, but you don't have to start there. Last week, we discussed lead like a rock, essential tips for women leaders under pressure. I gave you some tips. And again, even though it says women leaders, this is for all leaders. You all know that I am definitely down for the career woman, but this is leadership tips. These are leadership things that everyone can participate in. Now, today we're going to explore 3 levels of listening. I could have broken this out into a whole entire probably learning series, but I don't want to overwhelm you. And thus, we're just going to look at 3 buckets that you can put things into perspective. And I am sure that this is going to be able to assist you. By the end of this session, you're going to have practical insights to implement immediately. And our 3 points for today is going to be internal listening, focused listening, and global listening. And before we just jump all the way in, I always love to do a roll call. Let us know that you're listening. Let us know that the information is resonating with you. If there is something that I haven't covered that you want covered, or maybe there was something that I covered and you're like, Dr. Joy, Coach Miranda, I want to know a little bit more. Can you delve into that topic more? Then let us know that. Myself and the team are monitoring the comment, and we are here all day. Maybe not all day. We are here most of the day for you. You see, I am that person that I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that we are here all 24 hours, 7 days a week. That would be not the truth. But we are definitely here most of the time, and we are going back through the comment. I want to start with a quick story, a story that should resonate with some of you. Now, this story is going to illustrate the power of active listening in leadership. A few years ago, a colleague of mine, we're going to say June, was promoted to a leadership position in her company. She was very excited, but quickly found out was a little bit overwhelmed because there were people in I tell this to people all the time when they're like, "Oh, I'm trying to decide on whether or not I want to be in leadership." And this is the best way I can describe it. How are you with if we were to go back in time and think about maybe middle school or something of that nature? And I'm just going to throw middle school out there. Do you mind being a teacher in the middle of a middle school lesson? Is that something that's of interest to you? Are you going to be able to handle maybe 10, 20 different people coming at you at all times, maybe pulling on your shirt, maybe stepping on your tennis shoes or whatever shoes you would wear to class? Sometimes that is what it is like when you are leading. And thus for June, and hopefully I haven't given you all too bad of a taste in your mouth, but for June, when she was promoted, she quickly became overwhelmed. Her team, like a middle school, was extremely diverse. They had different personalities and different communication styles, and she struggled to connect with them effectively. June soon realized that she wasn't really listening to her team. You all, when someone is sitting there talking to you, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Someone is sitting there talking to you, and you are having a whole conversation in your head about what you cooking for dinner, what you gonna pick up for dinner, or oh, what's the new movie out? Oh, what's the new Jordans out? Now this person is having a conversation, and you're not paying attention. Okay, so truth be told, that was a little bit of June. It was like, well, maybe if I look like I'm paying attention, they will figure that I am paying attention. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. And June realized that she really wasn't listening. And how many of you are like this? Someone's talking to you, and then you just start talking over top of them. So she would often interrupt, and dare I say, she tried to finish their sentences. Now, I don't even know how you do this. Now, you can do this with family and friends. Please do not do this with the people that you are leading. Try to finish their sentences. Those people talk. Let them talk. But she was trying to finish their sentences. And while they were talking, okay, again, how many of you are out there? I don't know if you're going to admit it, but I do know that there are some out there. One day, a team member named John, who was usually quiet, finally broke the silence and opened up about a significant issue that was affecting his performance. June, at that point, decided, let me change my approach. She entirely focused on John. She then started making eye contact. She nodded to show that she was understanding or just looking at more engaged than before. She actually started to let him make complete sentences, and I am trying to make this lighthearted. However, some of you know that y'all are out there cutting people off, and some of you leaders are out there cutting people off. Some of you coworkers aren't even letting your coworkers in on the conversation. You open your mouth, and before you know it, 10 minutes has passed and nobody could get a word in. Can I get an amen? I'm just saying, I am telling the truth because I see it. I have seen it throughout my entire career. And unfortunately, I still see it happening today. But for June, this small change had such a massive impact. John felt heard and valued, and June gained crucial insights into her own team's dynamic. And this experience taught her that active listening is a vital leadership skill that fosters trust, collaboration, and innovation. Who does not want to be heard by their leadership? I don't know anyone that would just say, yeah, no, you know what? I don't want my leadership to hear my voice. Most people that I have encountered, run into, led, or coached believes that their voice should be heard. Now, if you feel you haven't achieved your career goals yet, don't you worry. It is time to level up your leadership by mastering the art of active listening. And yes, I am this excited about active listening because I know I'm feeling like somebody's going to be like, is she really this excited about active listening? Yes, I am. And how you can do this is through the three levels. The first level that I'm going to speak about is going to be internal listening. Internal listening is when we focus on our own thoughts and feelings rather than engaging with the speaker. Do you remember the last time? Maybe it's listening to me today. How many of you have nodded off into a whole nother direction? Huh. I was going to say when you're listening to someone else speak, but really, let's be real. How many of you have already thought, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that? You start thinking about your own thoughts while someone is talking. And dare I say, even since we've had the pandemic, I wonder how our focus, I really believe that people's focus is just all over the place, like all over the place. And thus, you have to remember that you have to train your brain to stay engaged. And so, how do I just do this? I do it by practice. No, y'all be like, no, so y'all like, come on. Yeah, seriously, we still got to practice, practice, and practice, and practice. And seriously, that's how you do it. You are going to practice being present. It's a natural human tendency to relate everything we hear to our own experiences. So I could have said, I had breakfast this morning. Immediately, you thinking about what you had breakfast for. You done I done moved on from breakfast and you stuck. And dang, I ain't had that bacon and eggs that I wanted this morning. And tomorrow I'm going to have some pancakes. See how that was so easy just for you to go off on a tangent? But as a leaders, it is so crucial to go beyond relating everything we hear to our own experiences. There was a fallacy long time ago where the talk was, oh, if someone says something to you about, maybe they say something to you about breakfast, and then you in turn, what they were teaching was, oh, you tell your story about breakfast, and that's going to show that you're paying attention. Okay, that's why you need knowledge. That's why you need continuous learning, because what happened 20 years ago is not always what's happening today. And that's a fallacy. And we think, oh, if I had red hair and you had red hair, then let me start talking about my red hair. No, it just doesn't work like that. And so it's important to understand to progress in your career, it's essential to shift your focus from the internal dialogue to the person speaking. So you got to train your brain literally. It floats off to a distance, and all of a sudden, you're going to pop back into whatever is happening. You're going to stay actively engaged. This entails setting aside your own thoughts, your judgments, your responses, and fully concentrating on the speaker's words and their emotions. It's not just what they're saying. Try to also look at how they're presenting, what's their body language, what's their tone. At its core, internal listening is about recognizing your listening habits and proactively working to change them. By doing so, you are going to become a more effective and empathetic communicator. Our second point is focus listening. Focus listening involves paying complete attention to the speaker, observing their body language, their tone of voice, and emotional cues. It's about being present in the moment. This is a space and a place for focused listening where we want to be most of the time. And so, if you are not at a focused listening point, I urge you to work to stay. And it does take work. Again, I really hone my active listening skills as a coach. And so I do recognize at this point it's a very, I can tune in perhaps better than a non coach or better than a person who doesn't actively work at this. But it doesn't mean that it happened overnight. It doesn't mean that it isn't challenging because I'm gonna be honest, it is at times. There are times where I want to just tune everything. I want it. I'm just telling you the truth. I want to tune it out too, y'all. I want to tune it out. However, because I believe that people's voices are important, your voice is important to me. I will not tune you out. I will stay in the conversation, but I just want to let you know really, it's not always the easiest thing to do. You really do have to, it takes oomph and it takes strength to stay in the conversation. But I am telling you, it is so worth staying in that conversation. It is so worth being present. And so, with focused listening, at this level, you are not just hearing the words, but also understanding the underlying message and the emotions. This kind of listening helps you to build those deeper connections. It helps your productivity. It's going to really change the way others see you as well. Practicing focused listening can significantly enhance your leadership presence and effectiveness. To further enhance your focused listening, what I'd like you to do is try to minimize distractions and show genuine interest in what the speaker is saying. Reflect back on what was said to ensure understanding and ask always. Get in the habit of asking open ended questions to dive deeper into the speaker's thoughts and feelings. Additionally, practicing empathy and putting yourself in the speaker's shoes can further improve your focused listening abilities. And with that being said, especially with practicing empathy and putting yourself in the speaker's shoes can further improve your focused listening abilities, I want to share with you. I had a moment that I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie, and I think you would probably call it a B movie. I think that would be like it's not prime time, it's an off brand. And when I was thinking about this movie, it was like, these were some of the comments that I made to myself. Uh, is that, or is the writing bad? And then this is what I said when it comes to, and this is why I'm saying this, when it comes to practicing empathy, putting yourself in a speaker's shoes, I then said, Miranda, well, if you just starting out and you made that movie, it's a daggone good movie. Yeah, if it would be a Z movie, I know there's no Z, but my movie would be a Z movie. So when I say practicing empathy, giving grace, all of those different things, because when I was thinking about that movie, and it was so easy to say, oh, I think this writing is bad, or oh, I think maybe the acting is bad. And then when I really recognized this person could have been starting out, and if they were just starting out, that's a daggone good movie. And so it's all about perspectives. It's all about how you choose to present to the world. And our third point is global listening. And now, global listening is a beautiful thing, but I also recognize before I even get into it, because some of y'all gonna be like, if you were really paying attention, you're gonna be like, how often do you want me to global listening? Listen, I know you're gonna be like that. You're gonna be like, Miranda, listen, I got stuck back there at focus listening, and you trying to take me to global. And however, knowledge can be powerful, and I want you to have all the tools in your tool belt. When we're talking about global listening, this goes beyond focused listening by taking into consideration the broader context of the conversation. It involves not only being attentive to the words being spoken, but also being attuned to the environment. Maybe it's the group dynamics. It's also the unspoken signals. Now, a lot of times when we're having global listening, you may be a little bit higher in your leadership role. Perhaps you're a mediator. Perhaps you are a conflict resolutionist. Perhaps you are a coach or you're an executive, but it doesn't mean that you have to be all those things. You, the employee, can learn how to global listening. You, a first line supervisor, can do this as well. I just want you to understand global listening isn't something that you will just walk around naturally trying to do it all day long. This type of listening enables you to grasp the bigger picture and understand the subtle nuances of what is being communicated. It encourages using all of your senses and your intuition to truly comprehend the message being conveyed. Now, some of you, I don't know where your intuition is leading you. And I don't want to just say this and just be like, listen, everybody got great intuition. I don't know where you're falling on the spectrum of intuition. And so when I say this lightly. If you're good with your intuition, then yes, use that. But let's be real. If you are not, if you do not hit the point most of the time, okay, I don't want you to use that in your global listening. I'm just being truthful to you because I don't want you to say, Miranda told me to use my intuition. And I want you to know if your intuition is off sometimes, maybe you don't want to use that, but use your other senses to truly comprehend the message being conveyed. Mastering global listening can make you have more well-informed decisions, effectively resolve conflicts, and it will also inspire your team. By developing this skill, you position yourself as a strategic leader capable of navigating complex situations with ease and insight. Now, with all of that being said, today we have explored the art of active listening with three distinct levels: internal, focused, and global. I want you all to be more focused for sure on focused listening. I want you definitely to move away from internal listening to focus listening. Now, if you all are gurus out there and maybe you're coaches, you can be a leader coach, and maybe you need to move from focus to global. Or if you're really good at focus listening, then yes, move to global. If this is newer to you, I would like you to be at focus listening for sure. Active listening is a powerful tool that can elevate your leadership. It can enhance not just your work relationships, all your relationships, and it will help you to drive your career forward. Remember, it's never too late to develop this skill and take your leadership to the next level. By practicing internal listening, you become aware of your listening habit. By engaging in focused listening, you're going to build stronger connections with your team. And by mastering global listening, you can gain a strategic advantage in understanding the broader context. I always love to end with a quote, and here it is. Listening is not just about hearing words, it's about understanding the unspoken and connecting with the soul of the speaker. Your very own Sparkle Joy Coach May. Thank you for your time today. I encourage you to start implementing these listening techniques in your own daily interaction and observe the positive impact that they have on your leadership journey. Join me next week for an incredible, insightful session. You deserve nothing but the best. It is my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.